Lynn was always kind, intelligent, and serious. She hated pranks, couldn't handle horror movies, and had no interest in anything creepy. That's why what happened felt so wrong, so completely unlike her. It started 2 months ago, on a morning like any other. I was running late for work, coffee in hand, when I saw her. She was peeking at me from around the corner at the end of the hallway. Just her eyes and a strand of dark hair hung against the wall. I nearly spilled my coffee. "Lynn, you scared the crap out of me," I said, laughing nervously. She didn't reply. Instead, she disappeared around the corner, her footsteps quick and light, like a kid who'd been caught sneaking candy. It was odd, but I brushed it off. I even thought it was funny. Lynn never acted playful like that. I called her a weirdo, said I loved her, and left for work. By the time I got home, she was her usual self. I didn't bring it up, and neither did she. 3 nights later, I woke up around 2 a.m. to get a drink. As I stood at the kitchen island, I felt it, that heavy, unmistakable sensation of being watched. I glanced down, and there she was. Lynn was crouched on the other side of the island, peeking at me with a grin so wide it didn't look natural. Her eyes were wide, unblinking, and she was completely still. My heart jumped into my throat. "Lynn, what the hell are you doing?" I stammered. She didn't answer. She just scuttled away on all fours, her hands and feet slapping the tile as she disappeared into the darkness. I didn't chase her. I couldn't. I was frozen, clutching the counter and trying to convince myself I hadn't just seen what I thought I saw. When I finally got the courage to go back to bed, she was lying there, sound asleep, or at least pretending to be. The next morning, I asked her about it. She acted like she had no idea what I was talking about. When I explained, she laughed. A deep, hearty laugh, like I'd told the funniest joke she'd ever heard. "You creep me out all the time," she teased, kissing my cheek. "Guess we're even." After that, the peeking started happening more often. I'd catch her peeking at me from behind the couch, the curtains, even the cracked door of the closet. Once I opened the trunk at the foot of our bed and found her crammed inside, her face peeking out with that same eerie grin. "Why are you doing this?" I asked, my voice trembling. She didn't answer. She just slowly closed the trunk lid, shutting herself inside. It stopped for a while after that. I told myself it was over, that she'd gotten tired of her strange game. But then a few nights ago, it got worse. I was in the shower when I felt it again, that awful sensation of being watched. Slowly, I opened my eyes. Lynn's face was inches from mine, peeking through the shower curtain. Her hair hung limp and wet, her eyes bloodshot and unblinking. Her grin stretched impossibly wide, her teeth bared. I screamed, stumbling back against the wall. She didn't move. She just stared, water dripping from her hair onto the floor. "Lynn, what the hell is wrong with you?" I shouted. Still, she didn't move. After what felt like an eternity, she slowly pulled her head back out of the curtain. I watched her blurry figure retreat toward the door. Then she slammed it shut so hard the mirror rattled. I locked myself in the bathroom, shaking. I could hear her outside, faintly moaning, her voice low and guttural. I yelled at her to stop, but she didn't respond. When I finally worked up the courage to leave, I checked under the door first. She wasn't there. But when I opened the door, I heard something behind me. Slowly, I turned to the closet. The door was cracked open, and Lynn's face was there, peeking out at me. Her hands were clasped to her chest, her body trembling with excitement. She let out a raspy moan, her grin stretching wider than before. I ran. I didn't stop until I was in my car, driving to my brother's house. When I got there, I told him we'd had a fight. I didn't explain the rest. I didn't want him to think I was crazy. But that night, I woke up with the same feeling of being watched. Slowly, I turned to the window. She was there, her face pressed against the glass, her grin as wide as ever. Drool streaked the pane, her breath fogging the glass. I pounded on the window. "Lynn, go home! Just go home!" She didn't move. She just stared, her grin twitching slightly. When my brother came downstairs, she vanished. The only trace she left was the streaks of drool on the glass. I haven't gone back home. I don't know what's wrong with her, or if that's even her anymore. But every night I see her, peeking, grinning, and every night she's a little closer.